to all of you and welcome to our Godllywood moment. Tonight, I'm going to carry on talking about Are You Strong? And it's a reflection that we have been doing throughout this month. And I want to share with you a personal experience that I had when some time ago I already spoke in one of the moments. My journey with God when my stepfather, he separated from my mom and he was the breadwinner of the house. By that time, I was 13 years old and we saw ourselves by then with this question mark, what we are going to do. My mom was a housewife. She would only be there to take care of us. My sister was very young, and because my mother had been out of her job for a long time, so for her to find a job now, being many years not working, it was very difficult. Then I found myself as a 13 years old girl seeing my mom with so much worries, and now how we are going to survive. He left us without anything, without a notes, and we were already in the church. We were being already faithful to God, but challenges come to everyone. So the same way that it comes for people who are not having a life with God, it comes for us as well, who have been in a journey serving God. And in that moment, I had to stand tall and help my mom to put everything together. And I was still studying, 13 years old. I would start in the morning. And I told my mom, I'm going to find a job. At first, she was not really believing, because who would give a job to a 13-year-old girl? And I saw myself that I had to be strong, because she was trying to be strong, but at the same time, I could see how much trouble she was, trying to pick up the piece after he left, and having two girls now that she needs to bring up and provide for them. So I started to look for a job, and that took me few days or weeks, and I had to get a job where I would give flyers on the streets, because I was so young. Then I would not be able, I was not qualified, I was just studying. I would not be able to get a job that I would be registered, that I would have to get a piece job, something that I could do so that I could bring an income to the house, and there we would survive until I could be able to find a job. By then was hard, but I had to trust in God. I had to be strong, and I had to stand believing that God would not allow us to lack anything, because by the end we were serving Him. So I went out, I found this job, I would study in the morning. After the job, I would go, after the school, I would go to have lunch, quick change, and go to this place where they would give me a big pack bag. And I would put so many flyers there, and they would tell me, you can only come back when you give all the flyers. And remember, I was already serving God. Sometimes we see people trying to deceive at work and trying to just make things to be quicker, but they don't do a proper job. But there I was serving God as well. At school, I was serving God. At my working place, I was serving God now as well in the house, serving my mom, bringing the income to the house. And it was hard, but I had to stand tall and be strong. And I would go with that heavy bag. I was so young, and I would give every flyer. Today is even fun when I remember that, because when I'm going out and I see people at the robots or somewhere giving flyers, I get it, because I know how painful it is. You are trying to give a flyer and no one wants to take it. Even though nowadays now how they promote places, it's few now places that they give flyer, but we still have, when you are going to town, when you are going somewhere, you see people hand out flyers. And all the time I make sure I get that flyer, whoever is giving, because I know how hard it is. You are trying to work and people ignores you in that moment. They don't really care. And I had to face this reality now. But I was not sad in terms of, because God was with me, and I would know that would not take long. He would provide. And eventually, that word in Joel chapter 3 verse 10 always would come back to me. Let the weak say, I am strong. So everyone knows that. And in the moments that we have the challenge is when we need to remember the promises of God. For the world, I was someone weak, because so young, and how I'm going now to find a job, and how I'm going to provide. But in that moment, I turn out the game with the help of God. I stand tall and I went out and I told my mother, don't worry, we will find a way. God will make us strong. Even though we are weak, apparently, but the spiritual strength that we had inside of us, the Holy Spirit was there to make us to stand. And that's what we want to invite you to stand tall and be strong when you face challenge. Because if you have God inside of you, you will make it. And eventually, I worked for some time, and after my mom found a job, and she qualified for that job, and I started to work in another place. I got a permanent job after that, and everything came together because God was inside of us. He is inside of us, and He gives us the strength that as a human being we think we can't make it, but with the help of God we make it. And bringing to my reality today, you know, here in Soweto we have these beautiful towers here, and from our cathedral we can see it from afar. That is a remembrance for us how we here, people here in Soweto, is strong, is resilient. Sometimes they are not focused their strength in God, with the help of God. And that's why they see themselves not coming out of that difficult moment. But I'm here to invite you to remember that if you are watching this Godllywood moment, it's because God is telling you, you don't need to carry everything alone. The challenge you are having, He will help you. If you stand tall like I did, like we see these towels here in Soweto, and make us to remember how people is resilient. If you do that, you will see God taking you through each and every situation, and you are going to make it for His glory. So let us reflect about it. You don't need to carry this load or anything that you are facing alone. Today, when I remember the time that I had been in that challenge, I see that God carried us through, and He was with us in each and every moment, because we trust in Him, because we made ourselves to be strong through His power. And that's what I want to invite you. So change the situation, be strong, and believe in the promise of God, because He doesn't change. He's the same. And if you stand with Him, He will make you to remember that He was with you through this challenge, and He made you to stand tall, strong in His presence. So it was a blessing to be here with you. I hope to see you next time. God bless you. Bye-bye.